These are the works of a graduate from the JJ Institute of Applied Art, a Mumbaiker. He is a keen photographer with an affinity for aerial shots. He has travelled across the world to capture landscapes, people, and wildlife. But his own political relevance. The stakes were high when on 21st of February 2017, Mumbai voted on the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation or the BMC elections, the civic body that runs Mumbai. The battle was equally about who will rule the milch cow, the richest municipal corporation of India. The BMC polls, often dubbed as a mini assembly elections in Maharashtra, often point to where the real power rests. And in 2017, the results proved a referendum on Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis of the BJP rather than the Shiv Sena chief, Uddhav Thackeray. Both sides had engaged in a no-holds-barred, ferocious campaign across the various municipalities and Zilla Parishads that had gone in for the vote. In Mumbai, the Shiv Sena managed to marginally increase their seat total, but the BJP almost doubled theirs. It was only in Thane that the Shiv Sena managed a convincing majority, while the BJP did exceedingly well everywhere else. Despite being in coalition at the state and centre, the BJP and Shiv Sena fought this civic polls separately for the first time in over 2 decades.
केंद्र में हमारी सरकार, राज्य में भी हमारी सरकार, आवश्यकता नहीं है.
Shiv Sena can no longer claim that it is the sole inheritor of the Hindutva legacy. The rise of the BJP across India and more specifically in Maharashtra and now increasingly in Mumbai means that the title that Bal Thackeray believed was his, Hindu Hriday Samrat, is no longer a monopoly. So the Shiv Sena has lost in a way its monopoly over the Hindutva tag, and therefore there is that element of competition that it has with the BJP. Also, Uddhav Thackeray at the end of the day is not Bal Thackeray, with the result that other leaders, particularly in the BJP, are not willing to give Uddhav Thackeray the same space and recognition that they would give a Bal Thackeray. And I think that is at the core of the BJP Shiv Sena drifting apart.
Thackeray is in fact battling a bigger crisis. The very relevance of Shiv Sena in Maharashtra and in national politics hangs at the precipice. And Uddhav has tasked himself with rescuing it. The Shiv Sena had been sidelined by its long-term ally. The 2014 Maharashtra Assembly elections saw the Shiv Sena fight the polls independently, but later somewhat reluctantly partnered up with the BJP. For the BMC elections in 2017, the BJP, still riding high on the Modi wave, sought a bigger share of the pie. They claimed if an alliance had to be formed, they needed 114 of the 227 seats. Else, they threatened to go solo.
Last 25 years, Shiv Sena is ruling BMC. They are in alliance with BJP. They are dominant partner. Shiv Sena is dominant partner. But now, BJP has become dominant partner after 2014 Lok Sabha election. So this was a threat for Shiv Sena leadership. And Bombay Municipal Corporation, some critics say that BMC is ATM for Shiv Sena. So all the funds come through BMC to this party. So this was a prestige election for Uddhav Thackeray.
This BJP demand left Uddhav and his Sena bristling. And on 26th of January this year, Uddhav made a fiery speech to party workers. He called off alliance talks and vowed never to call the BJP an ally again.
कुठेही माझ्या आई समान शिवसेनेशी गद्दारी करणार नाही, तिच्या कुशीवरती वार करणार नाही.
That was perhaps the shot in the arm that the Sainiks needed. Here, they thought, was an opportunity to snatch up the BMC, the jewel of the Maharashtra crown.
The Shiv Sena's birth origins are in Mumbai. It has been able to build an organizational network in Mumbai. Its leadership is based in Mumbai. It is essentially an urban party of Mumbai for the main part. That's where its politics originated, and some would say that's where its politics is limited.
While the cadres cheered, the announcement to go solo was seen as a big personal victory for the flailing Sena Supremo Uddhav. Many believed that the mild-mannered Uddhav didn't want to let go of the alliance, but had realized it was time that the Shiv Sena carved back its own space. Else the party would cease to be relevant even in the regional context. The resurgence began with virulent verbal attacks on Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis. One rally after the other, Uddhav mocked, taunted and challenged the BJP to try and win Mumbai.
At one level, there is an element of Noora Kushti, wherein, there is a bit of shadow boxing, because the Shiv Sena also knows that it needs to be in power in Maharashtra and also have a place on the high table in Delhi, which they cannot have at the moment without being in some kind of alliance with the BJP and Mr. Modi.
Uddhav's problem is not with Modi's leadership, because they had fought election together in 2014 Lok Sabha. Now this entire issue is personal. Shiv Sena was big brother in this alliance before 2014, and now BJP has become big brother in this alliance. So entire tussle is about personalities, entire tussle is about prestige of the organization.
Interestingly, political pundits had a tendency to write off Uddhav. It happened not once, but at least 3 times. And every time he proved them wrong by bouncing back. The first was when he came into the picture, stepping into the limelight as the anointed successor of Bal Thackeray.
It was the 2001 municipal elections of Mumbai where Bal Thackeray dramatically announced, or decided at least, that Uddhav Thackeray would now spearhead the party's strategy for those elections. That was the first time that you got a sense that Bal Thackeray was actually thinking of anointing his son as his heir and not his nephew. That's when I think the party the cadre suddenly started asking questions. Will Uddhav, who until then was a backroom person, was more involved in photography than politics, was pitchforked into a major role?
Everyone assumed the soft-spoken youngest son of Bal Thackeray, who had till then only been spotted clicking photographs at some of his father's rallies, was no leader material. And this was the first write-off.
From the first day when Uddhav Thackeray made his first speech in late 90s, people could sense that, okay, he is not like his father. His speeches are completely not like his father. He did not have confidence to speak in front of people. He did not have that natural flavor. He is not that funny while making speeches the way his father used to be. He's not that firebrand the way his father used to be.
The 2003 Shiv Sena convention at Mahabaleshwar changed the name of the game. Uddhav was nominated to the post of the working president, a post that did not exist but was created to accommodate him in the party.
He was a shy person, he was a very, very private person, and he found it difficult initially to adjust to life in the public eye. But having been anointed the working president, getting the confidence and backing of Bal Thackeray, and perhaps because he was surrounded by some people who were extremely ambitious for him, including his wife, he felt empowered now that he was working president and started getting his own people in key positions.
He started speaking about the policies of the party. He started speaking to the media about the policies of the party. And that's where actually changed a lot, because many people who were till then equal to Uddhav Thackeray, suddenly realized that now they will have to report to Uddhav Thackeray.
By May 2005, Narayan Rane had revolted against Uddhav's leadership and had been thrown out of the party. He left with 13 ministers, 10 of whom won the elections that followed. This was a big blow to Uddhav's authority over the Sena. Within 7 months, Raj Thackeray dissented openly against cousin Uddhav's style of leadership and quit his uncle's legacy to set up his own party, the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, or the MNS. The pundits were back, this time with good reason. Uddhav had lost big names from the party roster, the second write-off.
The biggest challenge before Uddhav Thackeray was to keep the flock together. Also, on the other hand, he had to maintain the aggressive image of the party for which the Shiv Sena was known. But Uddhav Thackeray had his own way of leading the party.
What followed was perhaps the lowest point in Uddhav's leadership and the history of Shiv Sena. There were whispers of he's not his father's son that ran rampant. And the party cadre were not convinced of Uddhav's decisions. And that is what possibly cost them the elections in 2009 to the Lok Sabha and the Assembly in Maharashtra.
MNS, with its clarion call for regrouping the Maratha Manus, had split the Shiv Sena vote bank, lending the Congress-NCP alliance a resounding victory. Soon after, the Shiv Sena lost the BMC elections as well. Morale ran low, Uddhav's health suffered. And in 2012, the biggest blow, the ailing Supremo Balasaheb Keshav Sitaram Thackeray passed away. The third write-off was silent yet omnipresent.
Bal Thackeray was one of the original architects of regionalism in Indian politics. A militant deviant who used identity as a tool. A cartoonist who turned Maharashtra politics on its head and carved out a fiefdom for himself. These were the shoes.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये फक्त शिवसेना आणि शिवसेना आणि शिवसेना बाकी कोणत्याही पक्षाला इथे कसलाही धारा नाही.
It was on 19th of June 1966 that Bal Thackeray's organization came into being. And it was Bal Thackeray's father, Keshav Thackeray, who christened the newly formed entity as the Shiv Sena.
पक्ष आणि संघटना ही तुमची भव्य झेंड्याची शिवसेना.
Bal Thackeray projected the Shiv Sena as the organization that would fight for the rights and interests of the Marathi people. And over the years, with the Marathi Manus on top of his agenda, Bal Thackeray's influence kept growing in Mumbai. Wherever he went and whenever he spoke, there were huge crowds that gathered to just greet him.
जनहितासाठी म्हणून जे राबवावं लागेल ते मी राबवणार.
It took the Shiv Sena almost 30 years. But in 1995 in Maharashtra, the Shiv Sena in alliance with the BJP came to power. Even at the centre, there was the BJP-led NDA government, and Shiv Sena got 3 ministers in the government. Manohar Joshi was appointed Speaker of the Lok Sabha.
This was the height of Shiv Sena's dominance, but also a difficult period for Bal Thackeray. One of his sons, Jaydev, divorced his wife Smita and then parted ways with his father over ideological differences. Barely a year later, Bal Thackeray lost his eldest son, Bindu Madhav, in a road accident and his wife to a heart attack.
Still recuperating from his personal loss, this was the time when Bal Thackeray started leaning towards his youngest son, Uddhav. The Shiv Sena chief started creating the grounds for Uddhav to rise in the party setup. At the time of the BMC polls in 1997, calls for party tickets were taken by Uddhav Thackeray. This was when the first fallout with his cousin Raj happened, as Uddhav did not give tickets to people from Raj's camp. Raj Thackeray had his own following. He formed the Shiv Uddhav Sena in 1997 to open up employment options for the youth. And when he organized the Michael Jackson concert in Mumbai, his popularity peaked.
It was around this time that Smita Thackeray was becoming a power center both within the party and the family. Old-timers and party satraps didn't quite like this, and they started pushing Uddhav to the forefront to counter Smita's influence. Now, the Shiv Sena won the 1997 BMC polls, and Uddhav had made his mark.
By the turn of the century, Shiv Sena had lost power in Maharashtra, and the questions of succession within the Sena began to crop up. Bal Thackeray was still strong, but there were others around him who were coming of age and had political aspirations. For the Sena to be able to maintain the political ground it had gained in its 40 years of existence, a new leader had to be appointed during Thackeray's lifetime. Both his son and nephew had their groups of supporters within the party that once stood undivided. And to choose between the two contenders was a tricky and risky business. Balasaheb shared quite a few interests with his nephew Raj Thackeray, right from their dressing sense to the love for cartoons, the firebrand speeches and similar style of oratory. They had a lot in common. According to many, with his political ambitions, charisma, experience, a natural affinity for politics, and an uncanny resemblance to his uncle, Raj Thackeray seemed the natural successor. But Bal Thackeray decided to anoint his son Uddhav.
He knew that he has been given mantle of Bal Thackeray, but he is not Bal Thackeray. He knew that his style was, he cannot imitate the style of Bal Thackeray. There can be only one Bal Thackeray and nobody can copy him. Uddhav realized that. Uddhav was not a very good speaker. He was not an aggressive organizer. But Uddhav was very good at administration. And right from the beginning, when he became executive chairman of Shiv Sena, he concentrated all his energies on the administration of the organization.
After 2003, everyone knew that, okay, if you want to get a ticket, you have to go through Uddhav Thackeray.
For obvious reasons, Raj was far from pleased with Uddhav's elevation. Subsequently, he took the back seat and at times openly shared his views on how he was sidelined in the party's functioning. Sulking, Raj eventually opted to go his own way and resigned from the Shiv Sena in 2006.
Uddhav was a no-voice before 1995. He never interfered with the politics of Shiv Sena or any organizational matter. Raj Thackeray took it for granted that I am natural heir of Bal Thackeray, and finally after Balasaheb Thackeray, I am going to become chief of Shiv Sena. That did not happen. So Raj Thackeray got frustrated. Narayan Rane left Shiv Sena. Then Raj Thackeray left Shiv Sena. Raj Thackeray started his party, Maharashtra Navnirman Sena.
In the 2012 BMC elections, Raj Thackeray gave the Shiv Sena a run for its money by delivering aggressive speeches and led a scathing attack on the 15-year rule of the Shiv Sena BJP in the Mumbai civic body.
The 2012 election enabled him, in the backdrop of his father's failing health, to establish himself as the undoubted, unquestioned leader of the Shiv Sena. Until then, even Shiv Sainiks, the cadres, were not sure of his leadership. When he won that 2012 election and Raj Thackeray was not able to make the impact that he had hoped, I think then Uddhav Thackeray believed his moment had come. And once his father then passed away, the party was much more willing in 2012 to accept him than they were a decade before that.
The personality of the party has definitely changed because the leadership has changed. I mean, leadership of Bal Thackeray was completely different. He used to call the shots. I mean, his word used to be the final word, and he used to see to it, right or wrong, that his word is the final word. Whereas Uddhav Thackeray is ready to bend sometimes, even within the party. The image of the party during Bal Thackeray was a party with a nuisance, whereas Uddhav Thackeray did try to change that a bit.
When I used to sit across a table with Bal Thackeray, there was an element of fear. You never knew when Bal Thackeray would point a finger at you and in a slightly ominous tone warn you that don't ask that question. Uddhav Thackeray will smile at you, and even if he tries to frighten you, it's unlikely that you're going to get frightened by an Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray is not a naturally born politician. He's trying to become one.
Time and again, Uddhav's leadership has come under attack. But in the run-up to the 2017 BMC polls, there was a makeover of sorts, which came as a surprise for many.
Today Uddhav Thackeray is criticizing Modi, he is attacking and abusing Devendra Fadnavis and BJP, but I don't think he will remain in that position forever. If there is political opportunity, he will definitely catch on this.
The Uddhav Thackeray that emerged, that the party cadre saw, was more aggressive, more direct, more attacking. That perhaps was something new for the party cadre. Even for people who have covered Shiv Sena, be it in Mumbai, or have seen the growth of Uddhav Thackeray as a leader, this perhaps was a different version of Uddhav Thackeray. The reason was that he was challenged on his own turf, that too by his own ally.
For a party which had seemingly lost its sheen after the death of its founder, the new avatar of Uddhav Thackeray looked like an attempt to infuse a new lease of life into the outfit. With an aim to attract young voters, the Sena has made a conscious effort to promote Uddhav's son, Aditya Thackeray. Aditya was officially introduced at the 2010 Dussehra rally at Shivaji Park.
Now Aditya is there. Who is future leader of Shiv Sena? Aditya is Shiv Sena's future. And if you go by all the election advertisement of Shiv Sena, it is done by Aditya Thackeray. Their tagline was not in Marathi. Their tagline was, "Did you know?" It was in English. So Aditya is a Scottish educated young person who loves life and who is not typical Marathi, who is not typical Shivaji Park Dadar middle class Marathi. He has some modern outlook. So it is interesting to watch how he will groom Shiv Sena as per his opinions and as per his personality.
So far, no one had really given much thought to the BMC elections, aside it being the richest municipality in the country and so good to be in charge of. But with the Sena's apparent fallout with the BJP and Uddhav Thackeray's near desperate bid to carve out his own legacy, this was one election that mattered more to the Thackeray name than the increase in BJP prestige.
The truth is, the Shiv Sena has been limited by its inheritance, the inheritance of Mumbai. And that's something which Bal Thackeray had to battle with, and that's something that Uddhav Thackeray will have to battle even harder, because now even in Mumbai, it's the BJP which wants to make a breakthrough in that city.
Now, with not having lost, but neither having won in Mumbai, Uddhav has to think up of other ways to keep the Sena and himself relevant in a state that is being clearly dominated by the Bharatiya Janata Party.